Hello, my dear students, and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 39 of a 95-part series of tutorials in object-oriented programming in C++. In this presentation, we are going to continue looking at the inheritance with our attention being on what we call the multilevel inheritance. My name is MemJM, or you can simply call me Swap. When a class inherits from a derived class, it is called a multilevel inheritance. In other words, a class derives from a class that is in turn derived from another class. This can be diagrammatically represented as follows. So if you have a class that is called C polygon, this class is normally what we call the base class. And then we can have another class called C triangle that inherits the properties of C polygon. And when I talk about inheriting the properties of the base class or of another class, I'm simply saying that the class that we call the derived class, for example, the C triangle, is given the rights to be able to access the members of the base class if the base class called C polygon contains the data members and the methods, then C triangle can be able to make use of the members of C polygon just as if those members were 8s. And then if you have another class, for example, called C results, that inherits the properties or its properties from the class that is called C triangle, which in real sense is a derived class of C polygon, then in this case, we can be able to say that this program is implementing what we are calling the multilevel inheritance. In other words, I have just said that in multilevel inheritance, we have a derived class deriving its properties from another derived class, which also inherits the properties from another many class, which is C polygon. So in this case, C results is a derived class of C triangle, while C triangle is a derived class of C polygon. In this case, therefore, just as I have said, class C results is derived from class C triangle, which in turn is derived from the class C polygon. Its syntax can therefore be illustrated as follows. We have the reserved word class followed by the name of derived class 1. Then we have full colon access specifier followed by the name of base class 1. And then, of course, we can write the definition within the opening and the closing braces. Next, we also repeat the same class, then name of derived class 2, access specifier, and then name of derived class 1. And that can continue to as many derived classes as possible. So an example is the class called C triangle, which is derived from the class called C polygon. And then the class called C results is derived from the class or from the derived class called C triangle. So that's how we do it. We first of all begin with the first derived class and the base class. So in this case, our first derived class is C triangle. It is derived from the base class C polygon. Once we have done the definition for that, we proceed and define the next derived class. In this case, our next derived class is called C results. And as you can see, it is being driven or derived from the derived class called C triangle. So that is the order of definitions and declarations of derived classes in a program that is implementing multi-level inheritance. The following is therefore a sample program implementing multi-level inheritance. So we have our comment. This program computes and displays area of a triangle. Then we have our include string using namespace standard. And then we have our first or our base class. So class C polygon. And then this class contains protected members who are height and width of type integer. Those are data members. And then we have methods who are enter values. That is not expect to return any value to the calling function, and it is not receiving any parameter. Now, what is it supposed to do? The enter values function or method is supposed to display the statement enter values function has been called to request for dimensions for C polygon. In other words, my dear students and the rest of the learners, my interest in this program is to enable you be able to follow the sequence of how derived classes or a program implementing multi-level inheritance works. And that's why in the cout statement here, I'm informing you that the first function that is being called or the function that is being invoked or the method that is being invoked under the class C polygon is enter values. And then this function or this method is prompting the user to enter the width of the polygon. Then the user enters a value which is stored in the data member called width. Next, the user is prompted to enter the height of the polygon, and the user enters the value which is read and is stored in the method in the member called height. So that's what that method or function is doing under the class C polygon. So at the end of the day, after this class has been invoked and executed, the members width and height will be containing or holding two values, one in the width and the other in the height. That's the end of that class definition. Our first derived class now is class C triangle. It is being driven from the class C polygon. So due to that, once that has been done, the class C triangle will inherit the dimensions from C polygon class. So in this case, the derived class will be able to access the members of the base class, which is C polygon. So after it is executed, it will be able to access those members. Now, we have one member who belongs to a class called C triangle. Now, note that this member called area cannot be accessed by C polygon. So this is a private member, a protected member of the class called C triangle. And this member is of type integer by the name area. And then we have two public functions or two public methods, or we have the following methods. Not two public methods, but we have this method called compute area. What does compute area do? Now, the first statement I will display on the screen is to show you that this is the function or the method that is being invoked. The method is compute area function. So compute area function has been called to compute area of triangle. That is the statement that will be displayed on your screen to help you be able to appreciate multi-level inheritance so that you can be able to see the order under which or by which the various methods are being executed. The next thing that this program is doing is, or this method is to compute the value of area. And because C triangle is a derived class of the class called C polygon, it is able to access the data members of the class called C polygon, just as if those members were 8s. These members are the width and the height. So this method will be able, the compiler will be able to read the value in the member, in the base class member called the height, then divide by 2 and multiply by the value in the member called width. The results will be stored in the protected member for the class called C triangle by the name area. And that's what that method you'll be doing under the C triangle class. Next, we have the next derived class, which is deriving its properties from the derived class called C triangle. The name of this derived class is results. So we have class results, which is driven from the class called C triangle. So the class called C results inherits the value for the area member. So this class has a public method called output. What is this going to do? The first statement to display on the screen once executed is to inform you that the function which is being invoked is the output function. So output function has been called to display the area of triangle. This is what will be displayed on your screen. Next, the statement, the area of triangle with similar dimensions as polygon is. My dear students and the rest of the learners, note that once this statement is executed, the compiler will go and pick the value stored in the member from the derived class called C triangle by the name area. Pick the value there, display it on the screen, and then drop one line. And that's what that method will be doing and that class. So my dear students and the rest of the learners, you can see the flow of these classes or these members. But this must be converted through the main program. So what do we have under the main program? In the main function, not program but function, in the main function, we are declaring the first instance of the class called C results. And that instance, I'm calling it traj or trg1. That is the object that will be used to manipulate the members of the class called C results. So it is of type C results. Now from there, we can be able to invoke the method called enter values through the object, the instance for C results. So once this statement is invoked, the compiler will go and pick or execute the method in the class called C polygon. So this is the function that will be executed, or this is the method that will be executed. The question that you may ask is, how comes that we are not invoking the enter values method using the instance for base class? It is simply because the TRG, the instance for C results, has been given the rights to be able to access the members of the base class. So when this statement is invoked, it simply tells you that the method under the class C triangle and the class C triangle is able to access the contents or the members of the class called C polygon. So we are able to access the members of the class called C polygon, the base class, through the derived class. So those statements or that function, this function will be executed as it is. And then once this statement is executed, the control will be taken back to the calling function, that is the main. And then the next statement will be invoked. This statement is invoking the method called compute area. You can still see whereas compute area is in the class called C triangle, is under the class called C triangle. You are able to see that through that function or through that method, we can be able to compute the area. Why? Because this derived class conceit triangle has been given the rights and the privileges to access the members of the class called C polygon. That is the width and the height. So once that this method is invoked, this function, the compiler will be able to compute the area of the triangle. And then once this statement or once this statement is invoked, because it's a statement, the control will be taken back to the calling program. And then the next statement to be executed will be this one. It is invoking, this statement is invoking the method called output. My dear students and the rest of the learners, you can see the same instance, the same object for the class called Z results is not only being used to access the members of the base class, but also the members of the first derived class. So you can see that through this instance called RG1, we are able to also execute this statement here. You can see. Now let me do a small correction. Let me do a small correction to my explanation. Now this TRG1 is for the class called C results. So this is the object for the second derived class. The object for the second derived class. Now, because the second derived class is derived from the first derived class and the first derived class is derived from the base class, then we can be able to access the members of the other two classes. We can be able to access the members of the class called C results. In other words, C results is the class whose content is being manipulated using the instance TRG1. So because TRG1 is for the class called C results, and the C results is derived from C triangle, then we are able to manipulate the members of this class called C triangle. And because C triangle is a derived class from the C polygon class, then we are also able to manipulate these other members. In other words, my dear students and the rest of the learners, it is important to note that in multi-level inheritance, the last derived class is able to access the members of all the other classes. So it is able to access the members of the previous derived class, the next derived class, or the previous next derived class, and also the base class. Then, once that statement or this method is executed, and this statement is executed, the control be taken back to the operating system, or the control be taken back to the main function, which will then invoke, or which will then request the compiler to take the control back to the operating system through this statement, and that will mark the end of our program. So, my dear students, the following is a demonstration on how to code, compile, and execute this program that we are going to look at in C++ programming language. So what we are going to do, just as I've always told you, I expect you to copy this program in your exercise book or in your 1D processor. Copy this program in your exercise book or in a 1D processor. Ensure that the syntax is okay. Dry run it, and then you can be able then to move and start C++ program in your computer, from where you can be able to type this program or code this program, or just copy your program from your 1D processor and paste it here. So in my case, because I already have this program with me in my 1D processor, I'll just copy my program and paste it in C++ once I have loaded the C++ program. Note, the name of my program or the title of my program is a multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. So let's proceed. So I'm going to click there or tap there. Then I'll launch my C++ program. There we go. I click on new project. This Windows console. And then I'll type multi-level inheritance. That's the name of my project. Then I'll click OK. Next, empty project. Then I'll click on finish. From here, to code my program, I'll click there. Then I'll click on code C++ file. And then I'll write or I'll type multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Then I'll click on and. And then from there, my dear students and the rest of the learners, because I already have my program, I'll just copy this program. I'll just copy this program and paste it in my C++ editor. If you have written it in your exercise book, you can just type your program. You can just type your program or code your program in our editor. So let's proceed and have our program in our C++ editor. So, my dear students and the rest of the learners, let's copy this program. I'll copy my program and then I'll paste it on my editor. I'll paste it on my editor. I repeat, this is my program. I will copy my program and then move on to my C++ editor. I'll paste my program here. That's my source code. If you are typing your source code, you can still type. Once you are done, you click on save. Then we compile our program. How do we compile our program? You click on build and then build solution. Remember, this is in Visual Studio Express 2010. If your program does not have any errors, you'll be able to see this statement here under the output. So our program does not have any error, meaning we can now proceed and execute our program. To execute, you click on debug, then start without debugging. Let's see what we are going to get. So this is the output from our screen. Now we are being prompted for, you can see, enter values function has been called to request for dimensions for polygon. So we are in the first method, this one here. So I'll enter my width. So my width is 3. Enter the height of the C polygon. I can enter 5, then press enter. You can see the next function that has been executed or method is compute area function. This compute area, as you can see, is under the C triangle derived class, our first derived class. So it has been called to compute area of triangle, meaning the area of triangle has already been executed. Then, so that's where we are. And then the next statement you can see is output function has been called to display the area of triangle. So that is already a method under the second derived class, the class called cResults. So the class called cResults, which has been derived from the class called cTriangle, and cTriangle has derived its characteristics or properties from the base class. So our that function or our that class contains the function called, or the method called output. So it has been invoked to display the area of triangle. And this area has been computed through the derived class by the name cResults. Or by the name, not cResults, but by the name cTriangle. So what is the area? We are being told that the area of our triangle with similar dimensions to the polygon is 7. Note that the first class is polygon. The second one is for a triangle. And you can see the triangle, the derived class is inheriting the properties of the class or of the object called a polygon. That's why we are saying that the area of a triangle with similar dimensions to the polygon, because the first class is for a polygon, it has the characteristics of the polygon. The second one is for a triangle. So the class for triangle is inheriting the properties of the polygon. So the area of a triangle with similar dimensions as polygon is 7. So we press our key to indicate continue. And that's the end of our program. So that's what our program does. And with that, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have come to the end of part 39 of this series. You can continue to part 40 of 95 on hierarchical inheritance in object-oriented programming. Congratulations for learning part 39 of 95 on multi-level inheritance in OOP. You can access videos for the other parts in object-oriented programming series, as well as other computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on MLSwap ICT YouTube channel below this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel by tapping on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further correspondence, kindly write it to us through the email mlswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless.